Mikki Mase outsmarted the casinos and got banned in every single casino in Las Vegas. He cracked the system, beat the odds, and walked away with millions. Let's see how he did it. How it all started. Mikki Mase was born with the name Michael David Meterman in October of 1991 to a wealthy family and grew up in New Jersey, but things became bad when his father, a professional racer, had gotten involved in organized crime, and that sent him away to prison for quite a long time. With the absence of his father, the family's finances had completely leveled, and they were struggling. The young Mikki, who had gotten accustomed to certain levels of comfort, then went to live with his grandparents and had to adjust to a life of lack. His grandparents spent a lot of time gambling in New York City card rooms, and that's where Mikki got exposure to high-stakes gambling and other vices. This would lead to a life of indulging in drugs, partying, alcohol, and other criminal activities, which caused numerous clashes with the law. Mikki was arrested multiple times, and at some point he got a 6-year prison sentence for being involved in drugs. Upon being released from prison, Mikki began to assess his life and to see what else he could do to make ends meet. As an ex-con, his options would be limited, and he didn't want to relapse to using drugs or sales. With no connections or the ability to make money, it seemed as though his life had come to an end. In the midst of depression, he met with an old friend who then gave him a second chance at life. The Lifeline. Mikki's friend had owned a tattoo shop and offered him a job at the place in exchange for a place to live as well as a small income. It was exactly the opportunity that Mikki needed to get started, and it provided the best atmosphere for him to meet people and socialize. Something else took place. He got an offer as a construction worker working on renovations. He took the opportunity, and it opened doors to other jobs like his part-time renovation job at a rehab facility. He was able to cut a deal which allowed him to attend rehab while also working for the center. As soon as he realized how much money facilities were making, he then garnered enough and began his own rehab center. Once he did that, he realized he could scale his numbers by opening a pharmacy just beside the place and was able to set up the pharmacy, growing his yearly income to millions of dollars a year. Mikki was doing well for himself, and while he ran the business, he realized something about himself that he had known for years but never really paid attention to. He was good with numbers and had a sound memory. The gift would serve him well in the future and make him one of the biggest names in all of Las Vegas. The gift. Mikki owned very successful businesses, but he was discontent. He craved a life of luxury and partying. He was young and needed to do the things that he loved. He decided to sell his businesses, and in doing so received tens of millions for both the rehab and the pharmacy. He then took that money and got on the first flight to Las Vegas. Once he arrived, he became curious about the games and the casinos. He had gambled numerous times when younger, but never for anything significant. He watched players win and lose massive amounts of money in high-stakes betting, and oftentimes would see himself making better decisions than those who had actually held the cards. That's when he decided to give gambling a try. He made sure to steer clear of the slot machines, as they were less predictable and more of complete luck. He needed something that would present him with a bit more challenge and allow him to rely more on skill. He started with poker and then went straight into high stakes. He would win some and lose some, but over time, he found that he was actually good at the game and was exceptionally good at baccarat. He played on master levels, and soon everybody knew who he was, especially the casinos that continually lost money to him. He made remarkable wins and losses over the course of his gambling career, even once turning $200 into $800,000. And what made him even bigger as a threat to casinos was that he would often play and earn anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 weekly. One particular winning stood out from all the others, the one that put fear into all of the casinos in Las Vegas and got him banned from most of them. The $11.5 million win. The big win. Mikki began doing high-stakes gambling in Vegas casinos, and since he was a big spender, he often got the VIP treatment, enticing him to stay longer and spend more money. Often, the casinos would go above the call of duty to make sure that he was quite comfortable, providing him with the most luxurious suites, a jet for traveling with his entourage, a luxury vehicle, a well-furnished penthouse, and access to all of the luxury amenities with vending machines and slot machines at every corner. It could be said the casinos had invested invested heavily in him with the goal of getting more out of him, but instead it became a pretty one-sided exchange as the professional gambler continued to win without any signs of relenting. He was becoming a huge liability for the casino instead of the cash cow they wanted him to be. Mikki had lodged at a famous casino and decided to focus on baccarat. He then leveraged methods which he called reverse engineering that he had played long enough in the casino to understand that the house had an edge and how the game was built, and then he would play for hours. He would often leave and come back to continue where he had stopped. It was as though the game was rigged when he won too much, and he needed to leave and return when the game switched back to factory settings. This bout would continue until he had amassed a mind-blowing $11.5 million in a single session. As you can imagine, the casino did not take well to this loss. They had spent way too much on keeping Mikki well entertained, so losing $11 million in a single day was a huge blow to the business. As fate would have it, he would be officially banned from playing at the casino for the entirety of his life. Other casinos in Las Vegas then immediately followed suit, under the assumption that Mikki had some sort of secret technique or cheat code that he would use while gambling, which they had not quite discovered. Nobody knew how he was able to do what he had done. All that they knew was he appeared to be doing some sort of critical analysis, which had allowed him to read the cards and win most of his high-stakes games. Mikki was one of the very few gamblers that were banned from playing at any Las Vegas casino, and most people who were banned were usually caught cheating or doing something illegal. Mikki, though, would be quite the opposite. The only thing he was guilty of was winning too much. Casinos do reserve the right to ban any player for any reason, or even no reason at all, and that's completely at their own discretion. According to an interview with Mikki, he had averaged a net profit of $1 million a week for the time when he was most active in gambling, and he boasted of having won millions for big entertainment industry names like Ryan Garcia, YK Osiris, Logan Paul, and many more. Before his ban, he could negotiate with the casinos depending on how much buying that he was doing, and since they were all about making money, they were often willing to bend the rules for their top spender so long as it had made them more. Only in the case of Mikki, bending the rules had increased his chances of winning big and cleaning out more money from the casinos, a lesson that they learned the hard way over time. The gambling strategy. Casinos have continually emphasized the fact that Mikki's luck was unnatural and he was probably using some sort of cheating method to win. Even though he had never really come out to disclose any of his actual strategy, it became clear he had an incredible IQ and could apply his intellect in ways that no other person could. He was a gifted player who would recognize patterns in gameplay and could statistically model or even predict the cards on the deck. He was often accused of card counting, a technique used by many players to predict the cards on the deck by eliminating those in the hand. Though card counting was not exactly illegal, casinos frowned upon the action, and it would be enough to get a player sent out. According to Mikki, he had the ability to use card counting, but his technique was not that in any way. Rather, he was able to recognize patterns that would leverage his betting based on probable outcomes. Many said that he had developed a system which seemed to exploit the weaknesses in casinos, but Mikki also mentioned in interviews that the technique was not foolproof. It could go either way, but with keen observation, anyone could beat the system. It didn't matter if he praised the technique or ridiculed it. The fact that it was good enough to win him over $11 million shows that it was effective, and nothing gets you banned from a casino faster than a technique which results in multiple winning streaks. Life after the big win. For Mikki, being banned from the casino was akin to cutting off a person's livelihood, as he was a full-time gambler, but over time, other engagements and endorsements began trickling in. He switched to private and online gambling while also maintaining his reputation as a high-stakes gambler. He coached a ton of people online and has a massive following on social media platforms. He continued to live a lavish lifestyle, earning more than enough to sustain it, and surprisingly, he leads a very private life. Most people have never heard about his family or his personal life, except for media posts that show off his wild lifestyle, luxury travels, and massive wins in casinos outside of Vegas. He became the epitome of hope for anyone who always wondered if it was possible to beat the casino at their own game. He was the gambler that every gambler wanted to meet or be, and he was on every podcast, stream, television show, and appearance, and continues to narrate his own experiences and achievements, which could have been a lot more had it not been for him having been banned everywhere. Even though he still gambles online and in casinos where he's not banned, he often tries to discourage others from doing so. So much so that he started a non-profit organization aimed at helping gambling addicts to quit and focus their time and resources on other things. The organization provides a variety of services in different departments like mental health, drug addiction, gambling addiction, and more, and those who need help can visit the website and get paired with a professional who's been through the exact same problem. What did you think about the life of Mikki Mase, the man who got banned from Vegas for winning too much? Be sure to let me know all about it in the comments section down below. Also, you should subscribe to the channel so that you never miss another great video like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.